I'm next though, get your vest on, let's go. Poppy gonna let those sets know, but it's the same Old Testament Genesis that we roll the cartridges. Sega, Nintendo, these are the Beast Wars, niggas just Petco. I'm a crocodile plus the wasabi when death roll ready, get set, go.
I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy.
He might have trouble connecting his audio.
Oh, that's it. We ain't even know this is about to be a four horsemen of the joint.
Yeah, big bro. Anyway, until he come on.
Go ahead.
Representation, Ree.
So
who's that?
That's Uncle Rob. So
It's Uncle Rob.
So representation.
It's
What I was saying was
It's that.
okay. I know. Let that in. So when I was saying representation, what I mean is everybody talks about the LGBTQ community, black women. You need representation when you're touching on different topics like comics. That's a whole separate community in and of itself.
We speak an entirely different, our own language.
There's a reason why they can't make a good anime movie. The reason why most video game movies.
I got it.
All right, you got your audio in. I'm gonna keep talking. Let me know when you got your video.
Everything straight.
Okay, we can't see you, so click on. Do you see what?
Hold up. Start video.
Yo, bro. What's good, bro?
Gang.
My God, man.
I feel like we're making history here or something.
Right, man. Yo, what's up, bro?
What's up, man? How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm better now that I see you, my dude. Like,
Hello, Uncle
that's what's up, man. Good to see you too. Hey, Niecy, what's up?
I just like to say hi to you, Uncle Rob.
No, you're adorable.
Okay. I'm saying
She
hi.
ain't want nothing else in life for the day.
So,
what's going on, man?
Dave, let me just get you caught.
Talking about.
So, we just had like a hour-long discussion about Batman and anti-heroes and villains and all that.
Yeah.
Nothing too major, but before you came in, the point I was getting ready to make was there's a reason why you can't make an anime movie that pleases the anime fans, because you don't have anime people writing the script for them.
right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's a reason why all the movies that they made about the LGBTQ community were kind of frowned upon,
Condescending, and yeah.
But then when you get
You gotta
Pose,
remember too, like all
wait,
that.
hold on. But when you get to Pose, they finally get it right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's a reason why that works, because now you're inclusive of the people who live that life. It's no different.
Right.
Comic books don't make it any more different about representation.
Right, because it's a culture and a community with its own. It breathes different than other cultures and communities. You know, it has its own language.
Yeah, like me and Stash were talking, and he can vouch for this. We were talking, and he was telling me he just wanted to go see Halloween Kills. Imagine trying to make a horror movie and you don't have nobody in the room that even enjoys horror flicks.
Right.
It's the same sentiment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why they can't. That's why they can't do a good hip hop TV show.
But wouldn't that be a given though? Like if you do like a movie, right, on like
You would think
on choreography or something, a hip hop dance or something. You're not going to do that with a room full of polka dancers. You're going to get, you know what I'm saying, some background dancers from, you know what I'm saying? And like, to me, that only would make sense, right? I'm not talking a football TV show with a game full of, with a gang of basketball players. Like, it just don't make sense.
So here's the cheat code, right? The cheat code is you bring in one person and you give them the title of consultant. So you can tell everybody, hey, we talked to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So now you get to blame him for all the,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like Lil' Kim when she was mad about Notorious, when she was mad at Notori Norton for how she played her or whatever. Notori Norton said, I talked to Kim. Kim said, she ain't talked to me.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But in my mind, there was probably one phone call. You asked her some generic questions.
Right, right.
And then took liberties. That's what people do in Hollywood.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But then when you come into, you got to understand, when you come into the studio.
Because I didn't bring Rob in for this, but Rob being a movie buff, he can contribute to this. Like Rob's probably the reason I'm a movie buff. So again, Rob, we were just talking about like how
well, now we talk about studio interference. This is what this is getting into.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Bring him in with the movie stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So, when you went and saw Halloween, what did you think of it?
Well, being as though I grew up off of them joints.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like what perspective you looking at it?
Like as a fan, just as a fan enjoying the movie, did you like what were your thoughts on it? Did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. It was more comedy to me than you know.
That's not the first time I've heard that too.
So
yeah, it was more comedy. I feel as though some parts in it, was like, okay, no. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole neighborhood of people and y'all couldn't take this dude down. What a kitchen knife.
Now,
that goes into Jack, that goes into my Batman discussion. It's like, yo, as far as we know, you know what I'm saying, Michael Myers ain't nobody like out of the or so they say, if you dig into if you dig into the lore of it.
If you dig into the lore of it, he's called the Shape. That's not even Michael anymore.
It's kind of right.
Yeah,
it's kind of like it's
the
again,
evil spirit.
He's an evil spirit, exactly.
But the regular everyday fan is not
doesn't know that.
Dig into their joints and be like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, that's why, you know what I'm saying, they done shot him 12 times and he's still up with this slow walk. Yo. So there's no way to explain how Big Bro just said if a gang of the town folk, pitchforks and everything coming at this cat, and there's no way he's still walking away from that. Like, I get it, movies are made to like
you got
suspension.
They call it a suspension of belief.
Suspension of disbelief. You have to. It's like we're coming in with a contract, right? This is make believe,
right?
Yeah.
Kind of the thing I say when people get mad about changing the race or the gender of a character. My only problem with when they do it in comic book movies is that we don't need you to do, especially for Black people. Thank you, but no thank you. We don't need you to do that because there are dope Black characters in comic books already. We don't need you to change. We don't need you to make Wolverine Black. You know what I mean? We don't need that because there's dope characters that are Black that Wolverine has been homies with. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Did anybody watch WandaVision?
I did.
That sounds familiar.
That's the joint with
on the Marvel joint on Disney Plus with Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch and Vision.
Oh yeah.
All right, so the Black girl from the Dear White People movie. Can't remember the actress's name, but she just got her powers.
I got you.
Now, what's dope is number one, she got her powers during Black History Month. Nobody seemed to peep that. I said, did y'all give your Black female hero her powers? I said, I see you, Disney. Right. I said, and y'all didn't make a thing about it. That's what was cool about it. No press releases.
I love when it's subtle. I love when it's
subtle. So, with that, I was like, that's cool because now she can replace Captain Marvel because this character, Monica Rambeau, has had a bunch of different names. Right. So if they wanted to kill off Brie Larson and put Homegirl in as Captain Marvel, I'd have no problem with that. But then when they were just talking about changing Carol Danvers to a Black character, I was like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You know what I mean?
And that's when the representation thing kind of goes a little too far for me.
Exactly.
Because now
Tessa Thompson playing Valkyrie.
Yeah, like now it's just kind of you BSing, for lack of a better phrase. Like it's
you pump faking. You doing representation for representation's sake.
Yeah, right.
This is the thing I said about Valkyrie. Here's my problem with Valkyrie.
Well, just a real they made Superman his son. They just put him into the LGBT
and the world went crazy.
But right.
The world went crazy. This is not Clark Kent. This is not your Superman. You can still have your Superman. This is his son for your children and grandchildren.
But we're gonna give y'all something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
So they just brought the joint out where Robin's supposed to be gay too, right?
Right.
Well, there's 17 of them, so one of them could be gay.
It ain't Dick Grayson, so it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like Nightwing ain't gay now. Like
it's not Dick Grayson. He's not gay. Right. It's 17 Robins. One of them could be gay. You can I'm gonna give one of y'all niggas. Whatever.
Did they say which one it is? Was it Bruce's son? Is it Damien?
No, it's Tim.
It's Tim.
It's Tim Drake.
But they've been saying Nightwing been flirting back and towing the line his whole career though.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? Come on.
All right, so
it's crazy, man.
All right, so look, I feel like I got to be moderator. The real reason that I got all you brothers together is because, again, black men don't have many spaces like this
to talk. Right.
You know what I mean? Like what started this conversation was Jack had asked me. It was just me and Jack talking, and we ended up talking about fatherhood, and he asked me what it was like for me as a father. And what we didn't get to in that conversation was, we got to it in private, but we didn't get to it on camera, was how was my wife adjusting to Corey growing up and not being as attached in the way that she was when she was like an infant. And then that just led us down a rabbit hole. We ended up talking about a lot, and I still wanted to go back to it because I don't feel like I did that conversation justice. Like, was crazy.
I got a way to talk about it. Can I segue this one, Reed?
All right, you got it.
Fellas, check this out, right?
Yes, sir.
So y'all know Mila Kunis from that 70s show, Ashton Kutcher's wife, right?
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Some little girl pushed their little girl in the playground. The baby go to her mom and to Mila, and she said, "Mommy, the little girl pushed me, and she keep pushing me. She pushed me every time Daddy bring me here." So Mila was like, "Push her the fuck back." Excuse me, Ray. Push her back, right? The internet went crazy. Ashton said, "No, tell somebody." Mila, whose mom in there, you got to understand this. They're like Chechenian or something. Right. They're from poor Eastern Europe. Yeah. And if you ain't never...
Let me stop you and I'll let you finish real quick. I'm Mila Kunis. Because I literally just went.
No, we all are. We all are.
I went to a PTA meeting maybe like a week or so ago, and straight up looked the teacher dead in the face. Excuse my language, Reeks. I know young fireflies.
No, you good. No, you good.
I told the teacher. I said, "Look, if Riley Michelle puts her hands on somebody, it's because I told her to do it. I told her straight up. If anybody bugs or because again, I know my kid. I know when she's doing wrong, but I know for the most part she's reserved and she's chilling." So if somebody's messing with her, I'm the one that told her to smack the shit out of me. So if there's any issues, call me because I'm telling you straight up, and I've done that for 4 years in a row now. I've told all the teachers that, like, look, if somebody's because y'all got a lot going on, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not watching everybody, and I get that, but nobody's gonna be able to raise your child like the parent.
Right.
Like, look, I'm not about to sit here and let her get beat up just because off the sake that you can't get around to it, or you dealing with such and such on the side. So I'm like, yo, if I told her to body or smack the shit out of somebody, because because I'm the one that said it. So I'm just so when she regurgitates this back to you, I'm letting you know this
where
is
it came from.
That it came from.
Right, exactly.
All right, Stash. Now
Yes, sir.
you have what? How many? Just for the record?
For the girls or just all together?
All together.
5 kids, man.
Mm-hmm.
5
Woo!
kids.
So
How the kids doing, man?
Hey, man, they all grown, man.
Your oldest is
Yeah, my oldest daughter, she's 29, and
right.
She's 29. Then my youngest daughter, her birthday actually is today. She just turned 24.
oh,
Happy birthday,
Jasmine. You know,
Happy birthday.
We went to lunch earlier.
oh.
You know, having girls, man. You know, it's different.
Yeah, I got my one, but she's flanked by 2 older brothers, so I'm kind of cool. Like,
yes.
And go up.
Look at yay, right.
and oh man.
So the reason I wanted you to talk on that too is because you want to show him Mickey. Yeah, you just got Mickey today, so now you're super excited.
We see Mickey. Okay, baby.
Mickey gonna be rocking hard for about a couple days. Then he gonna be
listen, then he gonna be in the trash somewhere.
Right.
Or she gonna step on him.
Right, exactly. So the reason I asked is because Rob, you've been down this road before. You know what I mean? You know what it's like to have your kids come home, hey dad. So what do you?
Hey, Ree, real quick.
Yeah.
I just wanted Jack to peep out the Disney villain shirt. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That's all. That's
Cruella.
That ain't a good guy shirt. That's the. I'm just saying.
But that's the real Cruella DeVille. They try to make her into a hero.
Rocking with the villains.
Yo.
They try to make her into a hero. They try to justify her wanting to kill Dalmatians. Because 2 Dalmatians killed her mom.
No,
bro.
No, but you know what that is though? It's the origin story. It's that whole like everybody was good until every villain.
Yeah, and no, everybody wasn't good until some people was just born bad.
You can't say that because you come into the world completely innocent. You come into the world completely. Yeah. There is a moment. It don't matter when that moment is, but there's always a moment that turns you.
Well, it could be something, but it could be something as small. Now think about this. You're right.
But now you're arguing semantics. I'm only making my point.
Yeah. No, you're right. No, you're right. Yeah. But it could be something as small as like.
Yeah, it could definitely be small. It could definitely be.
And then that person then snapped out. They was predisposed to the snap out.
Which takes us back to Michael Myers.
Right. He just killed his sister. Because she was getting some like what?
Yeah, I mean,
you just killed this young lady for being a young lady.
No, but so then it becomes like then it's that I don't want to call it the Oedipus complex, but it's that weird thing like nobody can have my sister but me kind of thing. Like I've always looked at that relationship that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like a spouse crime of passion. That's what I'm trying to say. Crime of passion. Like, that's his sister, but if he off in the head, then you don't really know how he's looking at his sister.
Yeah, no, that's true. No, that's true.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Like,
have you had to tell the kids to go to school and give somebody a couple of chips in their teeth?
All the time, because that's what I was taught when I was young.
Exactly.
Somebody put their hands on you, you got a right to hit them back, and it was always, and teacher say something, you tell them your mom said.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Especially if you know your kid is not like the type to go around, bothering
people.
Yeah,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe, and tell you the truth, with the public is just weird, you know what I'm saying? Because when it comes boisterous for the public to speak, that's when everybody act like they not with that same program. But behind closed doors, everybody with that same shit. Like, if somebody hit you, you hit them back. It's just when it's exposed and everybody now you gotta be on something.
Right.
Like, that's what it is. That's all that is.
No.
Well, I made a video about it, and I said it be these. I'm a
snowflake.
I'm gonna go. I gotta make a little bit of a circle to get to this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I live in a neighborhood where you go directly across like the big street, which is 52nd Street. You go directly across 52nd Street, and you're in University City. And it's a certain kind of white person there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I know.
And
the beautification, right?
The gentrification type of white people, the soy boys, the ones that they call snowflakes.
Yeah.
You know, Birkenstocks and cafes and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah.
What I realized is these, like, I got a certain kind of white person that I can hang with. And what I realized is I thought these was my kind of white people, but they not.
Nah.
Me and Candace, we too colorful for them. They look at us like you're a filthy consumer. Now you go down to university, you go down to Northern Liberties, those is my kind of white people. Right? They got sneakers on, they driving fly cars, but they still just cool with niggas. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. I can't deal with these SJW mother. Like, I can't, bro. Like, you niggas, like, bro, you niggas is like out of pocket and y'all pussy for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't. Don't teach my kids none of that shit.
So right. So, and I feel like, I mean, and of course Mila is, you know, go sit over there.
She's an ethno-European.
Right.
She don't come from the fancy places. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. She come from poverty. She comes from poverty. So the fighter in her is
different than Ashton, who don't come from poverty. And who her husband.
Yeah. Okay. And
because he disagreed with her. He was like, no.
And see, that's the thing, right?
Tell her to go get somebody. What?
Who you
gonna Tell her to go get who?
Who you gonna go get?
Who you gonna go get?
That was him not wanting the public to go on his head.
Okay. Baby.
I can see that. I can see
that too. Yeah.
You had to have good parent, bad parent, and he wants to portray to be the good parent. Meanwhile, the mom really is the G.
Yeah, she the G.
Right.
Like, I mean, I might not dig Mila not washing the kids every day. That's nasty.
Yeah, that's it. Yo.
Listen, what?
But then again, like I said, she is poor, Eastern, European, and they niggas, I'm quite sure, because she like a step off a gypsy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm being real prejudiced. I got this wrong. I need to look this up. What is Mila Kunis?
Ukrainian, I believe.
Oh, the very Russians are already poor. The super poor Russians.
Yeah, hold on. Let me fact check that. But go ahead. I just don't want to get that.
Yeah, but is it the same type of lifestyle that Erykah Badu lives? Because she's not with the believing in the soap and water.
That's a good point.
Oh, right. You know, that's true.
And she says she never sweats under her armpits. Never.
But that's probably, it might be because of what she eat.
Yeah, because you know what you consume in your body will come out.
Yeah, so and you know, like vegans, like if you are super on the vegan thing, they damn near don't have fingerprints.
Yeah. No, that's the hardest thing in the world too.
That shit is a cult, bro.
For like a day and a half, and
that shit is a cult, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, going vegan? You stupid.
I was vegan for like a day, and I was like,
a day and a half. Need some beef
You
over here. Where
stupid.
that? Need a cheesesteak over here.
That shit is a cult, bro. The vegans is scarier than the Barbs and the Beehive put together. And you know them some scary motherfuckers.
I don't know, because them cats right there is ferocious.
No. I was about to say something about the bar, but I'm gonna let it. I
promise that be in your inbox.
No, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. I'm gonna just shut up. But anyway,
grow up.
We got more things to get. Got more important things to get to. I mean, you just defending you betting on the wrong horse considering who she married, but we ain't gonna talk about it.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, part of the issue is when you come from poverty, because I was gonna make it a race thing, but no, when you come from have-nots.
When you come from poverty.
When you come from have-nots, and we relate to this as black men, as black people, I've already been stepped on enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna let you push me, literally. My people have been stepped on enough. We're not doing this again. And I'm not gonna let my kids go through that.
Well, but see, Ray, bro, I'll put some more on that. The fact that we fight, the fact that black people will just get busy is one of the reasons why we don't shoot everything up.
Yeah.
That's right. Let's tell the truth. Because we didn't take it to that person.
Yeah.
You don't never hear too many times about black folks going crazy and just shooting everybody. You know what I mean? Normally that person that got shot, it's either an accident because niggas are stupid and they shoot.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question to the brothers, right? To the group.
Go ahead.
And this was this is a conversation I have all the time with people. Like, so coming from poverty, right? Because you know what I'm saying, I think it's almost safe to assume we've all came from some kind of background to where, you know what I'm saying, had to fight our way to the top.
Yeah. Like maybe your family wasn't struggling, but you were struggling adjacent.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything one handed to us, kind of. We was hurting, but we made it do what it do.
Right.
So now, in reference, right, to speaking about our kids and children, where's the line as far as spoiling a kid?
Woo.
And like you know what I'm saying, because I feel like not that me and my wife struggle with this, but like the whole thing of us, like, you know, we both kind of came from the same similar backgrounds, right? No silver spoon, no nothing, right?
Shit, tell the truth. You struggle with it. Tell the truth.
But you know what? You come up, right, and you bust your ass, you work hard, you do everything you're supposed to create this household, right? But not only are you just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your children, right? But in essence, your children and kind of never know struggle. And I'm always a proponent for struggle. Like, I'm a fan of struggle because struggle kind of like, you know what I'm saying, and make you like, we probably wouldn't be the gentleman we are today if we didn't go through all the nonsense that we went through coming up and still go through, you know what I'm saying, on a daily basis. So how do you deal with the line of like spoiling the kid, or, you know what I'm saying, or just
let me go, because I feel like Jack and Stash. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna get heavy with those two.
Right.
So but we got old heads.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not speaking specific to my daughter. My daughter is spoiled because she's a 3-year-old,
and she's the only child.
Right. So then there's that. But you always want better for your children than what you had. So in that aspect, there always will be a bit of spoiling. And I don't mind spoiling until it becomes entitlement.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Spoiling is one thing because you love your children and you don't want them to know the struggle that you went through. But you have to spoil them a little bit because the world is going to give them their own struggle that you can't relate to. You'll never know the struggles that they'll have. Like, my father and my mother didn't go through the struggles of college because they didn't go. Well, my mommy did, but my dad didn't. But the struggles of college when I was in college were completely different from what they knew. So times change. So inadvertently, you always end up spoiling your child in one way, shape, or form. If you can avoid that entitlement, like, yo, the world doesn't owe you anything. You get this. You get this because I love you. You get this because I care about you, and I feel you deserve it. The world will not feel like you deserve anything, Jack. We talked about this off camera.
Yeah.
The world will not give you a thing.
I tell my kids that,
and they will take whatever you have from you. If you thought it was going to be yours forever, they'll take it away from you just that fast. So you can spoil your children, but it's about balance.
Right.
The balance of letting them know, hey, this is a privilege. You're not owed this. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can have the new Xbox. That's not a priority. You got to go out and earn this. I was spoiled as a kid. My father spoiled me to death. I had everything I could ever want.
Shit, you spoiled us both, bro.
Right. You're right. And I'm only speaking about experience. But yeah,
toys beyond toys.
Yeah, Pop, yo, Stash as a kid broke one of my Teddy Ruxpins playing hip hop cassettes in the back. My pop bought me another one as soon as it broke. So I was spoiled.
Remember that, yo?
I remember it because he keep bringing it up. Y'all gotta have a conference call about that incident. My man is heated.
I would be too. That was expensive.
So anyway, in the midst of having all that, he also had a lot of grown men talking to me. Like, fam, I'm not always gonna be here. And he had it with me so much that even if I didn't understand it at 7 when he first told me, I understood it at 12. You gotta. What I've learned in my brief time as a parent is repetition. Repetition is everything. I gotta keep telling her, don't do this. This has consequences. Don't do that. You gotta keep drilling it in your kids.
Yeah, it's a mind train. That's all.
Yeah. And the difference between, again, spoiling and entitlement is not teaching your children that life lesson. If you're teaching your child that life lesson, then you're doing all you can do. They have to make application when they get older.
Yeah.
I give a perfect example. Well, first I have a great quote for this because I will say something. I'll put a little caveat to this. I think that when Black people, I think a lot of times, we get to a point where I know, like, I say this, richer Black people give their kids a harder time than middle-class Black people like us, right? Like, Tip gave his kids a really hard time. I know a lot of celebrities that really give their kids a really hard time, and there are people that are speaking up against that now going, whoa, that's not how white folks do it. You know what I mean? You don't want your kid to start on the same level that you did. What's the purpose? And there's a great quote. I can't remember the name of the person, but this person said, I studied art and history. I studied war and politics so that my sons could study mathematics and algebra and agriculture, so that their sons could study art and history. Right? What I see what I hear when I hear that is that they're supposed to get a little softer. The generations are supposed to soften up. They're not supposed to be as hard as us. They're not supposed to go to this, like Reese said, they're not supposed to go through the same struggles. You know, what I do, I've had a lot of grown conversations with my kids. You know, one of the reasons is because my two youngest got stripped out of my life for a large section of their formative years. 6 and 7 respectively. 6 and 7 years. You know, I just got my youngest son back. You know.
That's what's up, bro.
You know, yeah, like, and clear. Like, me and his stepmother are his only guardians. You know what I mean? I had to fight for that one. But then some stuff happened, you know. But what I've always told my sons is, you're royalty, and I treat you as such. But true royalty is not about just doing what you want. It's about having responsibilities, right? You are expected.
Let that breathe for a minute. Let that breathe for a minute.
So you spend that Uncle Ben talk.
Let that
Yeah.
Great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, whatever Uncle Ben said.
That's what he said.
As a matter of fact, I gotta unlock the door for this youngest because I can't get him to not forget his keys in the house. It's not where they're supposed to be.
So much for great power and responsibility, right?
Right.
So Stash, go ahead while Jack steps away. Go ahead.
As far as with the kids,
yeah, just spoiled and spoiled.
The veteran of the group.
Yeah. I mean, like y'all said, I mean, you know, like you said, you give them, you know, what they deserve, but, you know, it's not an entitlement. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I always looked at it, because to me, I school mine on, you know, how the world is, like Jack was saying. Like, you got to talk about life, and you got to let them know, you know, like, things is not promised. And what you want in life, you always going to have to work hard for. I don't care what it is. Even if you got a lot of money and you're a millionaire, like, you're still going to have to work hard for these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't look for handouts. You know what I'm saying? Don't look for handouts. As far as this, like you said, as far as us being black, I don't care. It's always going to be harder for anything that you're trying to achieve. No matter, you can have all the money in the world, but if they don't want you to have it, you will not have it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to create your own path and your own endeavors, you know what I'm saying, in order to succeed in this life.
No, that's a fact.
How much I try to school them with it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and
you're going to have your days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They had their days where they, you know, kids, you know, coming up, they'll always think that they're entitled. You know what I mean? We always feel like we all are entitled to something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially when it comes to your parents.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing too. And I'm gonna pass this right back to Rob. That's the thing too. As a child, you don't understand the worldview. Your world is what's in your
I am recording, boy. Quiet.
Right? Like your world is your family. You're very short-sighted. Everything under the roof that I'm in revolves around me. Then you go outside, and that's when reality hits.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's why they always.
And we always say, like, everybody said this when they're younger. You never know that, you know, when you're going to have your kid or whatever. But everybody that come from that type of background once said, yo, if I have a kid, I ain't going to never let them go through this that I went through. Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's everybody. So that's how we always look at it when we trying to raise ours, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like I said, you got to teach them. Like, you know, I'm not giving this to you because you did a good deed, because if you do that, they're going to always feel that's an entitlement. They always feel like every time they do something good, like, that's why I stopped telling my kids a lot, because I found it a path. Like, it seemed like every time I let, especially one of my boys or Lil Rob, I let him know, like, you know what I mean? Like, man, I'm proud of you, doing good. And then it'll be like a couple of days later, 48 hours later, you know, and did something to piss me off. And I tell my wife, like, see, that's why I don't like telling the kids when they do something good, because I think when you tell them they do something good, they get so excited and then they forget their place.
No, like
a little bit of leeway for them to cut up a little bit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
All right, Stash, I got it
real quick.
My problem with that is this: I grew up my father was a Marine, and I grew up in a military household. Both of my fathers, both of the men that raised me are Marines. And I never heard, and I was the overachiever. I never heard good job. I got a head nod, and that was it. By high school, it had made me so hard, and I was so capable, that it nothing mattered.
Yeah.
Nothing mattered. And you know what I mean? And now I find myself, since I didn't get hugs, I didn't get kisses, I didn't get good jobs, I overcompensate. What I do is, first of all, school and stuff like that, that's your job. We all have a job in this house. This is a team, right?
Yeah.
You all have a job in this house. School and your chores is your job.
Yeah.
You don't do something, you don't get paid.
And mine used to tell me, I got my education. It's up to you to get yours.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but guess what? If you could just sit on your ass and collect a check, you would.
Oh yeah, American dream.
Right. So what I'm saying is, why not? Especially, I found school boring. They never really did anything. I had to make school interesting for myself. They never did anything that really pulled me in. I knew that I had to be here to make the grades. So, and to kind of get the leeway I needed from my parents. You know what I mean? Because I was a bad kid. I wasn't a good kid because I got the grades. I was a horrible kid. I was a horrible job. But I didn't have much of a, my dads were there to hand out butt kickings and money. And my mom was like a crazy person. So for them, what I do with them is like, the worst thing I could say to my children is I'm disappointed.
I just literally stood and just watched the same exact thing. So go ahead.
So that wait.
I literally just watched her mother say that, and she almost broke down into.
No.
Hold on. Quiet boy, come here.
So wait. So
put your swords in your hand. Who downstairs? You got company?
No.
Oh. What's the worst thing I could say? Say what's up.
What's up?
What's up, nephew?
What's up, little player?
Rob. That's your Uncle Rig. You know Uncle Rig.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Shit.
You ain't got the katana blade out. What's going on?
Somebody about to get cut.
Yeah.
What is the worst thing I could say
over there?
You really disappointed. Like,
why is that the worst thing I could say to you?
Because I'm used to getting my butt kicked. So when it comes to like words, I'm like, what did I do now? Oh my God.
Right. Because dad don't hit you, right?
Yeah. Whew.
All right. Good job.
Horrified if he said
That's how I am.
Horrified.
That's how I don't believe in hitting either. I changed the tone in my voice and you know what I'm saying. Like, oh, he ain't playing.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's all it take though. Like,
so and it's crazy because I literally just had this. She a toddler, but it's different. So she did something, and she did it blatantly in front of me, and I was like, "Don't do." Before she did it, I was like, "Don't do that," and she looked at me and did it anyway. And I looked at her and I was like, "I'm really disappointed in you. Like, I'm really, really disappointed in you." Her facial expression. I don't know if it's the way that the words "I'm disappointed in you" come out, but I didn't even have to touch her. After saying that, it was like she cried because I said I was disappointed. Like she understood that she let me down. Of course, she's a toddler, so she
wants to hear that. Yeah, nobody wants to hear that from their superhero. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Let me see if I can get away with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all they do. What I find is that I'm real honest with them. I keep it a G with them. I do. Like I'm super. I like my daughter.
Yeah.
Instead of telling you not to have sex, I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna feel when this nigga game you up. When he gets in your mind, this is how you're gonna feel. You're gonna come to me, you're gonna want to cry, you're gonna want to break windows, you want to do this, you want to do that. So check this out. You're not mature enough for sexual activity right now. Because you're gonna feel like that when you're 21. So at 14, 15, imagine how you want to feel with your hormones not being settled yet. Because they're not settled in your 20s for real.
Yeah. No, because it's funny you say that, because I was just reading an article a couple months ago that was saying like the human brain itself isn't fully developed until you're in your 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So you shouldn't even, you're not mature enough to handle nothing at 14. You think you are because you're getting older and more time is going to pass, but nah. The way we're all older now. And we can vouch. The way you thought at 14 versus how you feel at 40 is completely different. You know what I mean? The way you feel
completely different.
Oh, Shiz, you on mute.
Oh no, I was gonna say I still ain't got my mind right. So
that was my next point. I was like, you're not gonna feel the same way you feel at 35 versus 40 or 25 at 30. You know what I mean? Like, life is a constant growing process.
Bro, when we met,
oh no.
I was first of all, drugs, guns, but not only that, all these political opinions, F the system. When I was 24, I was like, I need to do hip hop in a way so I don't got to deal with this one, you know. And I had a whole list of names. Even as far as how I felt about like the music I grew up with and their music, you know what I'm saying? I'm one of them old heads that's like, F you old niggas. Like, don't shut up. Like, stop talking to them. Stop telling them about your glory days. They don't care.
Finish your thought, but let's stay there. Finish your thought, but let's stay there.
You know, my thing is we be like, y'all always in them phones. This is where my world is. Yeah. I know you keep telling me about outside, and outside is cool for me to go get snacks, but my world is right here, bro. Yeah. If it breaks down, I don't know, but I was raised with this. You know.
Freeze. So when we were talking a few minutes ago, I forget how we got there. We were still talking about, you know, parenting and all that. And Cage, occasionally I'll still call you Cage. I said this to you when we were talking in private. And I think on the show. Human behavior doesn't change much, only the circumstances do. Their kids are going to be telling them the same thing that we told them. That's the cycle of life.
It goes that way, doesn't it?
Young people don't want to hear from the older generation. The older generation is trying to warn you, hey, this is what's going to happen. They don't want to hear it at 20. But when they hear it at 40, it's like, oh, like,
they get it.
Like, let's just take music, right? Young Thug don't care about what KRS-One got to say. But when Young Thug turns 40, he gonna think about what KRS-One said and be like, you know what? The old nigga was right.
But you know what happens? It's like our grandchildren are going to be more like us because our children become a departure of us.
Yeah.
I am more like my grandfather. My mother wants me to be my mom's a worker. My grandfathers weren't workers, they was bosses.
Yeah.
Even though I have a strict policy on
I know.
F the bosses.
I know.
Did you see my stories today?
I saw. I was gonna let you rock.
That's what that show is about. But we'll get to that sometime later. But that's what that show is about. F the bosses.
Yeah.
but I'm not a worker. I can't work for anybody. I have a very hard time working, doing a full-time job because I was raised by an entrepreneur. I was my grandfather's carpenter's apprentice for my entire life, every summer. And then when I turned 21, that was my first like job. When I moved out, that was my first like job to get me on my feet, was working with my grandfather. So my great grandfather, my father's grandfather, owned the beer distributor in our neighborhood. There's a beer distributor on 57th and Walnut. That used to be the family's. I mean, he got older and sold it out from under us, but as black people do a lot. Mm-hmm. But so I wasn't a worker. My kids want jobs. You know, they have a business. Like, you have something that I'm going to leave to you, but my kids want jobs. We are all on this entrepreneur thing.
You know what I think it is, and I never really thought about it until hearing you say that. Always wanting different from what you grew up with. From what you had. Exactly. Even if what you grew up with was cool.
Mm-hmm. Like, evolution.
Like, right. Like, it surprises me that my nephews want to rap now because they're so close to it. But I think maybe when they were younger, they probably didn't. Like, I don't want to do that. That's what dad do. Mm-hmm. Now they older and they understand it a little more. Now they want to rap. Like, I think.
Well, go ahead, Rick.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you kind of just want to see. You might not want that long term. You kind of just want to see what it's like. Like, your kids want jobs now, but they 14, 15, 16. You know, Mason is older.
18. Yeah, Mason
is in full sale.
No, Mason is the one, but he's my oldest. He grew up with me.
No. Let me get there for you.
Yeah.
Mason is the
dutiful eldest son.
Yeah, he's the anomaly because he's going to full sale. So by default, he's going to want to be an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And when he wants to be an entrepreneur, your other kids will see it and be like, "Oh, I should have did what he did." So let life play itself out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But what I was going to say to that, Ree, is like, I understand trying to this clothing thing. You got to talk to them. They are the bosses.
Yeah.
I cannot talk to y'all about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
They still tell us what's cool.
And you know what's crazy?
Right.
You know what's crazy? I'm
like we did. We dictated that at one point.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, my nephew's got to tell me what's cool, who the newest nigga on the street that's kind of buzzing. It's like, I don't be knowing no more. Like, it's crazy to me. And what's crazy, what I was about to say is, I'm sitting here looking at the screen, and I'm like, I'm looking at Shiz. You might not see yourself this way, but I'm looking at 4 entrepreneurs right here, because you don't always try to be an entrepreneur, but eventually you try to build something for yourself to lead. Mm-hmm. You might not be an entrepreneur in the sense of like a company, but you're trying to leave something legacy-wise.
Yeah.
Legacy-wise for your kids. Like, if I can't leave you nothing else, I want to leave you content with knowing that Pop did his best.
Well, with him doing this with Lexi and y'all, with y'all doing this, let y'all need to underdig how this shit is about to get with Beat Connection. I don't think y'all really realize, like I told y'all, I'm the demographic. I feel like once the right people from the city get wind and y'all make more noise, Shiz and Alexa gonna have to come right the hell back. Watch.
I know they're gonna have to come
right the hell back home, and they're gonna have the money, and y'all gonna have the money to do it. I'm telling you, bro. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, realness. But you know, not only that, I'm looking at this screen and I go, we all dads, and there's a lot of things we share in common, but the one thing we share in common that we've passed on to our kids is hip hop.
No, that's a fact.
Yeah, no.
Think about that.
No.
We're sharing a genre of music. Three generations at this point have shared a genre of music and a culture.
No, and I
normally they die out.
Wait, I love that segue, by the way, because you've been mastering these segues since we've been starting to do this. No, because listen, Jack was nervous about segueing. Like, how do we segue in and out? Because, you know, I talk a lot. I'm like, nah, just let the conversation go where it go and we'll figure it out. Right. So, with that being said, because Stash just kind of jumped in, I ain't giving him his proper introduction. So, we're going to treat this like a segment. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you,
boys and girls, children of all ages,
your idol, the highest title, numero uno, the CEO of Raw Deal Squad Entertainment.
You gotta show this. You gotta show the hoodie.
Yeah, squad.
Yeah, man. Squad. CEO of Raw Deal Squad Entertainment. I can't even know I put this on for a reason until Stash came in the room.
What'd you say?
When you said you had a surprise, you had that hoodie on. I should have known.
Right. So, my big brother, my mentor, my big brother, my mentor.
Yes, sir.
One of my closest homies.
El Capitan.
Even if he wasn't my brother. Stash Man, Stash Brigante, legendary.
Thank you, my
ladies and gentlemen.
I got pour up some more for that.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I got. You know what I mean?
I feel like you know what? And we just gonna treat this like a whole new episode, a whole new segment. For those that don't know, again, Rob Stashiz is my blood brother, my big brother. The reason I rap is because I watched my brother rap. He had a song called "The Joke Is On You" that was it's still stuck in my head to this day. And I heard that song when I don't even want to say how old I was when I heard that record.
You know the joint that I remember?
Oh, what you remember, Shiz?
The Red Alert track?
Red Alert?
Y'all don't even remember that one.
Red Alert?
Damn, Red Alert.
Red Alert.
It's like I still got the song in my head.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yo! Stop it! That was you and Tone. That was you and Tone. Shout out to Tone.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I forgot I used to play the cassette when Shiz would come over. We would play the game or whatever. Yo, you have a great memory. So, Stash is, of course, he's family to me. He's family to Jack.
Yes, very much so.
You know what I mean? And
yes, sir.
Even though you ain't seen Shiz in a minute because me and Shiz family.
Yeah, we've met many moons ago.
Shiz was with me in Benedict and Doherty, so you know Shiz, even if you don't remember him right away. Like,
oh man.
So this is all family for me personally, and I'm just glad that I could get all you brothers to meet, you know, and just kind of shoot the breeze. Before we got to this segment, we were just talking about fatherhood, but
yeah,
you know, I just love having 4 black men that have shaped my life in one way, shape, or form all together, just to kind of shoot.
Hey, man, and we still shaping.
That's it. We still going.
And we still going. And I love that, man. We don't get to, as men, as black men, coming from where we come from, we don't give compliments very well, right? And it's still a hard time. Like me, you know what you read. Every time we get off the phone, bro, I love you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've sadly enough, I know we probably all experienced losing someone suddenly. Yeah. You know, obviously Reed just going through that.
Yeah.
And you know, and I've lost people to violence. You know, and I know we've all lost people to violence.
Yeah.
So it's like
you just never know.
with this world being the way it is, man, I gotta let you know ahead of time, like I love you, like
yeah,
and hopefully maybe nobody told you that today,
nah, and
right?
And it's crazy because I'll say this for you because you and Stash have had a great relationship, but it's always been based around music.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get y'all together on this platform because the way y'all speak about each other when y'all not around each other is the wildest shit in the world to me. Like,
listen.
It's just my guy, man.
When I ain't see him no more, like, what's up with Jack? You talk to Jack?
Yeah.
He doing this,
like,
he doing that.